Okay, first of all, congratulations on the movie, especially for you, Henry, because it's like your first feature film. And I read some very interesting information actually about your background and actually some steps which probably led you to this movie. And I'm so happy to have especially Harris with us today because one of the programs of this year festival is dedicated to your movies, and we will screen beside the County Lines, Beach Rats, and the Postcard from the London. So I'm very happy to have you here with us. And Conaard, of course, the youngest one, and definitely the rising star, and someone who really impressed the whole program crew from the festival when we watched the movie. So I will just go straight to the questions. And Henry, I have to ask, did you? It's like question. Did you start working in? What's the correctly name in the? Is that like social service in United Kingdom? It's PRU or something like that.
PRU.
Yeah. So you work basically, let's say that agency. So did you start work there because you knew that one day you will do this movie, or you just like, okay, I'm working here, so now I'm gonna do the movie? But like jokes aside, how important was for you to meet all these people, and see actually what's happening regarding this topic, and how important was and helpful for you to like for this movie, and what exactly made you this movie? Because I learned that this topic is like pretty much hot in United Kingdom.
Well, there's three questions there, and I'll address each of them. First one, I started doing youth work and working in Peru's as a job, because I didn't really want to do waitering, or I didn't want to do anything else. And my friends were doing it, and they were saying it was really interesting. And it was better paid than being a waiter, so I was like, okay, cool, I'll give it a shot. And it just so happened that I ended up being quite good at it, and I ended up working with probably some of the most vulnerable and complex young people, and I enjoyed it. I didn't know at the time, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I started, that I was going to make County Lines the first film. It was only in 2015
Yeah, we recorded, but just for a second, my camera went off. So we recorded actually.
Okay.
But I have to ask this: how much? It's your first movie, and we have a lot of commercial movies these days. And I ask every director from our feature program section, how much and actually how hard it is to make the movie which is socially engaged. I mean, you send the very important messages, and actually the reviews I read, like Screen Daily said that your movie is very shocking but with some welcome humanity, which is like very, in my opinion, very like it's a perfect subline for a movie, especially during the time where audiences like for the movies which are commercial topics, actions, comedies and stuff. So how hard it's to, especially because it's your first movie, to shoot this movie, to write this movie, and to believe that this movie could reach potentially a big amount of people and to send out the message?
It was very difficult to get off the ground. I think for two reasons. I think the material was very challenging. And because County Lines at the time of trying to get the film off the ground we were kind of ahead of the game, if you like, because of my youth work. So people sort of now know over the last 2 years about it in much more detail. But in 2015, 2016, when I was really developing it, people didn't really have a sense for how extreme it was. And then I think the other barrier to getting it off the ground was because I'm a self-taught filmmaker and I haven't gone to film school or haven't come through any of the traditional talent development channels here in the UK. You know, on paper, I was zero, and I hadn't had a lot of success or any success really with any of the short films that I'd made. They were more experimentations and me just sort of playing around with form and style, if you like. So yeah, it wasn't a safe bet for financiers. So yeah, it was difficult, but at the same time, we had a jewel in the crown, and that no one, I'm not sure any other filmmaker knew what I knew because of how frontline I had been for so long in my youth work.
Yeah, Harris, that's actually probably like the wrapper for my next question for you. Did you know what to expect from the movie and how important this movie is to go on with? Because I mean, you have some amazing additions, especially in the Beach Rats, which is also some kind of like socially engaged movie, you know, especially for those country. It screened in Bosnia like 2 years ago. And I know the reactions like for that movie also, but this topic, like, it's not that familiar, you know, for the probably not European audience, you know, but still it's something which includes, you know, the young people and their troubles. So in your opinion as actor, what was your first reaction on the script and the invitation, perhaps from the Henry, to be the part of the movie?
What do you know what I think when you, a lot of the time when you get a script or you get an email through about something about young people in London and about this subject matter in particular, there's rarely ever a scenario where it feels representative of that scenario or representative of that group of those people. And I think, you know, like County Lines, I was going to school with people that were engaged in it and were involved in it in different capacities. So when I read the script, it was like, okay, this is coming from a place of truth. So I think, and you know, like you said earlier, there's so many different types of cinema in terms of like escapism and social realism and cinema that addresses social issues at the core. And I think it's important if you can represent that wholly and truthfully, because then people gain a perspective that otherwise they wouldn't have. So yeah, I mean, it's important, and it was always like important to me. And I think I just really trusted Henry's vision of it and trusted his insight, and I was just happy to and excited to do it, man. You know, like my dad's a social worker, so I've been around social issues and social justice my whole life. So it's like if I can be involved in that through film, then great. You know, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, Bruce. So basically, you experienced like some of these county lines activities during your school. I mean, not you personally, but you saw it, like it's happening around you.
Yeah. I mean, it's happening everywhere. You know, I think there was boys going off to do it, and there was boys involved in the recruiting. So yeah.
Conaard, how familiar were you with this topic? I mean, you are 16, am I correct, or 17 now?
At the moment, I'm 19.
Okay, but yeah, sorry.
When I first read the script, I think I was 16 or 17.
And what is your experience? I mean, do you have any like knowledge about this happening around you, like before you read the script? So, what was your like first feeling? Do you think that you, like being the part of this movie, could in any way like try to reach out and say this is the problem?
Well, I was very familiar with the County Lines operations because of music and culture. in particular rap music, where the county lines phenomenon is often glorified by lots of rappers, London rappers and other cities in the UK. And especially for young people my age listening to that kind of music, I think a film like this, which is duly educational and entertaining, is a refreshing way to talk about the topic, not in a way that glamorizes it.
So how was for you like working on the movie on the set? I mean, perhaps you were the youngest at the time, and working with Henry, who is like the first time a director for the feature film, working with the Harris, who actually has I would say like a lot of experience as a young actor from previous movies. Was it okay like with you to adapt to the atmosphere of the scene, and was it hard to get into the role?
Well, first of all, working with all these talented actors was very inspiring, and I learned a lot during the experience. And to answer your other part of the question, Henry and I think we spent near around a year before we actually started filming. We had a few sessions where we just sat down and went through the script page by page and worked out every tiny little bit of Tyler's life, so that when the camera started rolling, there wasn't really a doubt in my mind as to what I had to say or why I had to say it.
Henry, you actually the critiques also wrote that, and actually that's the first I would say the thing I see about your movie, that you actually establish the characters very slowly at the very beginning. And when I first saw the movie, actually my colleagues saw it in London when it was screened in 2019, and they told me like, we should screen this movie, you know. And my colleague said actually this, you know, in the first 15 minutes, I was like, no boring, but I was like, man, you know, this movie should be like faster, you know, you only have an hour and a half, you know, to show everything. And she said like, after 20 minutes, I was like, man, come on, you seriously, you have to be like faster. And then she told me that at the moment, you just tell yourself, okay, just shut up and watch the movie, you know, because it's perfect how you establish the characters, you know, the Taylor, after that, I mean, the Conaard, and after that, the role of the Harris, you know, you just put, you know, actors coming into their roles like very slowly. Was it hard? Because like literally you only have like 90 minutes of the movie, and after that you just got this mess, you know. Why it's important to watch the Taylor's or Conaard's role in the movie at that amount of the time?
Because you have to establish the psychological and the emotional landscape, you know, and it's about texture. It's about creating a world rather than what needs to happen, you know. I think coming back to your early point about commercial filmmaking, as valid as it is and as successful as it is, it does rely on a lot to happen. You know, it's kind of paint by numbers storytelling, which can be really thrilling, but it's not the style of cinema that I particularly get excited about. And I like being drawn into a world, being drawn into the texture of that world, into, you know, if we're experiencing the film through Tyler's eyes, then we have to establish what's behind those eyes. And that's what the whole beginning was, is you really need to feel the pressure and the subtext to Tyler's life. And then also, you know, it was very clear to me as we were filming that a very special performance was coming out of Conaard. You know, as I was sort of examining the dailies and I was working with my editor at the time, we were like, you know, this is quite a special performance. And especially when you've got actors like Harris and Ashley around Conaard, then there's not really, it's about me getting out the way and allowing those performances to breathe. So, you know, to open on a 3-minute take of Conaard sitting there listening to a speech was a bold move, but the truth of the matter is it works because the performance is so grounded. And why not? Why not?
Harris, you can choose like where to play and where to not play, like in which movies. But what do you prefer? I have to ask you this because like in Bosnia we have a lot of young actors who are now like between the two sides. To take every single part in a movie, in a theatrical play or something they are given, for fame, for money, I don't know, to be, or on the other hand, on the other side, you have movies and the chance to be of the movies, which are very important for the, just like digression, like people from the festival, and I think you know that, Harris, because of the beach rats and stuff, people from the festivals are like, we need festival movies, and the festivals movies are those who can reach the great amount of people and send very important messages. So to be very, very famous, and you are like right now, and like even more, to get like more and more money, to be in every single part you get, or to very, very carefully choose like the parts and to like lay down with your own actor stamp, to be like remembered as an actor who like choose the parts and send like very important message from the movies. What would be your like decision, or what's your opinion on that?
I mean, it's interesting because I spoke about earlier, there's all different types of projects, and I think I enjoy doing a little bit of everything. I've had the luxury to sort of jump between different sizes and different genre films. I think that's a fun thing about this industry. I mean, I definitely gravitate towards more projects that I care about, and working with directors and storytellers that are truthful and integral in the way that they tell a story. I think that's important for me. I don't think I'm overly thinking about it in that detail, but this I got approached and auditioned for this a while before it started, similar to Conaard, and I think it stayed in my head because I knew it was going to be an important story, and I think that excites me, is when you've got someone like Henry and someone like Conaard who are both just amazing, and you just want to be involved in that, and you want to be involved in important cinema. But equally, it's fun to be silly and ride around on a horse and get paid. So yeah, man, I don't know is my honest answer.
Yeah, okay, to be honest, okay, Connor, like the same question, like, I mean, you had the brief beginning, like, of your career. You done one feature movie before this, if I'm right, and probably you have some plans like for the future, and I have to like ask you what, I mean, I don't say it's bad like to act in a commercial, that kind of movies, and also on this, but like what's your opinion on that, like where to go?
I think there needs to be balance, and there needs to be variety. And I think if you're an actor and you just say, "Oh, I only want to do commercials," or "I only want to do theatre the whole time," I think sometimes it can get a bit boring and sometimes monotonous. And the joy of acting is that there are so many different streams or paths you can go down, and a career can take different turns. And like you said, I'm only at the beginning, and I'm just excited for where things can take take.
Did you have conversation with your friends about the movie and about this topic after the movie? Did you change your mind about something? Do you think that you can change the opinion of people of that and starting care about it?
Yeah, I think a lot of my friends did see the film, and I think beforehand they didn't completely understand the repercussions or the real negative side that the county lines can have on young children. And I think in that way the film really did educate and really helped people understand it completely.
Perfect. Harris, do you think that you can change your community and the role with the movie?
Do you think I can change it? No.
Not you personally, but being the part of the movie industry and the movie as itself. Do you think that movie industry can be used as the lobby or something for the masses of people as a great medium to communicate?
Definitely, man. Definitely. I think entertainment, cinema, storytelling in general has a great power to shift and change social attitudes, and I think it's done that throughout history. And I think that's why we got the heroes like Henry out here. I think. I mean, for me as a young as a kid, it certainly shifted and changed my opinion and view of the world. And I know that conversations after films definitely spur and inspire change and continue community discussions, and I think that's the beautiful thing about it, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Henry, do you think that in any way, since you first screened the movie in the BFI London last year, your reactions on the movie from your colleagues, it's your first movie, did you bring up on the top again because I done some research, you know, and despite the fact that the county lines are the huge issue in the United Kingdom, I couldn't find that the whole situation with the government police and stuff, it's going straight to the problem, you know, and trying to solve it, because it's still happening in a huge amount. So do you think that you raise awareness even more or something? Did you get a positive feedback?
Yeah. I mean, I got positive critical feedback and good feedback from my colleagues who are, you know, frontline involved, and a lot of them still haven't seen the film because of the delayed release and the sort of whole aesthetic of the film. I think people are very impressed with the craft across all the heads of department, and you know, its power. It's got a great emotional power. Will it change county lines? No, because the issue is more complex than just putting 90 minutes of a narrative in front of people. It requires a lot of political will. It requires a lot of financial investment, and it requires sort of major national systemic changes to our safeguarding and policing systems. And until those happen, then the movie will trigger debate and it will trigger distress, but it will not trigger fundamental systemic change.
Okay, and just do you have some? Thank you for the honest answers. Really, I enjoyed the conversation. Sorry, I hope so you did too. Conaard, do you have some message for the audience in Sarajevo? They're watching the movie, so they you know, in Sarajevo the audience have a lot of questions every single time. So that's the reason I'm sorry. At least Henry as a director is not here, but. So message for the audience and our guests on Youth Film Festival Sarajevo.
About the film? About
what
to
about
expect?
The film, some message. Yeah, what to expect from the film.
I think the first thing to expect is honesty, and in some cases maybe even brutal honesty. So, yeah, I think you should expect something gritty, exciting, and in particular something new. I mean, me personally, I've never seen or read a script like this before, and I think just enjoy it and watch it with an open mind.
Harris, your message for the audience: what to expect from the movie? What did you feel after you watched the movie? Actually, before that, sorry, I interrupt you all the time, but I have to ask you this.
Nice try, man. What did I feel? Fuck. I can't. I felt weighty. Do you know what I mean? I felt like there was a lot of there was a lot of hard truth, and I think that you can't help but sort of leave with this profound sense of awareness. Maybe, you know, even for me, someone who knew about the issue, and had read the script and been involved. I was a small part and came in and contributed in a small way. But yeah, I just had an awareness, but also at the core of it is like this beautiful son-mother relationship and dynamic, and Conaard and Ashley do it so beautifully. So I also left with that, you know, with their relationship and their struggle and their journey.
Yeah. Before I say the last question for the Henry Harris, as I mentioned at the brief beginning, this year program Best of is dedicated to you, like with your movies, Beach Rats, County Lines, and the Postcard from London. So yeah, rocking in Sarajevo. We tried to bring you here, just like for the last 7 days, spoke with your agents. I'm sorry we didn't do that, but perhaps we could do it like next year or something. And I have to tell you that the audience is like very here amazed with your performance in the Beach Rats, you know. And I could, and they now will see the County Lines. I'm pretty much sure that will be adored by your performance there too. But just wanted to like thanks for the performances you have in the movie. We have Damian Hardung from the last year from the Germany in this program, and really trying to present the actors who really did, as a young actors, did a great job in the movies, you know. So just very brief answer, please, and a very short question for you. How hard was it in that time to play the role in the Beach Rats you had? Because this is still the huge topic in Bosnia.
I don't think I overly like found it really difficult at the time. I sort of just went with it, you know. I was thrust into the environment of South Brooklyn, Sheepshead Bay, and I just went with Eliza Hittman's sort of vision and flow, and I sort of just got taken under the wing and did it. I mean, it was difficult, like everything has its struggles, but I think I sort of just felt it instinctually and tried not to overthink it. But yeah, thank you. I'd love to come out next year. Sorry it didn't work out this
yeah, I
time
mean,
round.
COVID messed up everything, but at least we will screen the movies. So.
Yeah,
thank you, Harris.
that.
Thank you very much. And for Dan, Henry, congratulations, seriously, for your first movie. Like, it's amazing. Like, we really enjoyed, and I'm sure the audience in Sarajevo will enjoy. Do you have any plans with the movie for the rest of the year? And what next? You're preparing something else?
So the cinema release was delayed due to COVID, obviously. So we've been rescheduled for November. So hitting cinemas in November. It's playing a few more festivals. I'm not aware, I haven't been told yet what festivals, but I hear that a number of festivals are really interested in it. And then I think the digital release, there's a special Blu-ray and double disc edition that BFI are releasing beginning of next year, which will be a really beautiful release. And I've just done the director's commentary for that, which was really fun. And then in relation to other stuff, yeah, there's a few things. But it's, you know, it's really embryonic. So I'm pretty, I think you have to sort of keep your cards close to your chest, because otherwise, if you put these things out, they can fast become something else, you know.
Yeah. I really sorry you guys are not here to speak live, face to face. Conaard, I wish you all the best in your future career, and great performance you did in County Line. Seriously, I mean, your expressions, frames. I didn't mention the photography and your DOP, Henry, in this movie. I mean, this framing the face and just going through the movie, even during and the Henry's. Harrison's role and the Conaard's role, it's amazing, really. We enjoyed the movie. I wish you guys all the best, and very happy this year. You know, it's long until 2001, and COVID is hitting us hard. So I hope so you're safe and staying good, and we will have chance and opportunity to meet sometime in the next edition of the festival. So best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kenan. Enjoy the film.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you later, guys.
Bye.
See you. Bye.